For 3 years, the world has argued, theorized, and fought online about what really happened the night King Von lost his life. But nobody expected his own mother to break her silence like this. And what she revealed. It changes everything fans thought they knew. The streets are buzzing, social media is exploding, and Von's closest supporters say this is the moment the truth finally ripped through the rumors. It started with a simple message, one that Von's mom posted, then deleted within minutes. But screenshots spread so fast the internet couldn't keep up. And inside those words was the most shocking accusation she has ever made about Lil Tim, the man tied to Von's final moments. For years, fans argued whether it was self-defense, a setup, retaliation, miscommunication, or a split-second mistake. But Von's mom says the truth wasn't an accident. It was a chain of events that people in the industry have been hiding since day one. People close to her say she's been carrying this weight for too long, crying in silence, watching the world debate her son while she knew things the public never heard. And now, she's done being quiet. Tonight, we break down everything she revealed. The moment Von's mom broke her silence, the whole internet froze. Not because she posted something dramatic, not because she pointed fingers, but because her words carried a pain only a mother could feel. The kind of pain that makes people stop scrolling, stop arguing, and just listen. For years, the world only saw pieces of the story. Shaky videos, street rumors, emotional interviews from people who were there, people who weren't, and people who just wanted a viral moment. But the one person who stayed silent through everything was Von's mother. And according to someone extremely close to her, she didn't stay quiet out of fear. She stayed quiet because she didn't want to say anything until she knew she could live with the truth. It all started last week. A family friend revealed that Von's mom had been receiving messages, screenshots, and private calls from people claiming to know the real story about Lil Tim. Most of them she ignored. Some she saved. But one message, one detail, made her break down in tears and whisper, "So that's what really happened?" She didn't react with anger. She didn't threaten revenge. She just cried, the type of cry that shakes your body, where you don't make a sound because the pain is too deep. According to that same family friend, she sat there for almost an hour, just replaying everything she'd lost. That was the moment she made her decision. She would speak. But not from rage. Not from street pressure. From a mother's need for truth. People in her circle say she called 3 of Von's closest childhood friends before she posted anything. Not to ask permission, but to make sure the details she had were real. One friend said the moment she read the final piece of information about Lil Tim's role, she whispered, "So they've been lying to me all this time?" That line sent chills through the room. When she finally opened her phone and typed her message, the one she deleted within minutes, she didn't type like someone looking for attention. She typed like a mother who had reached her breaking point. The post wasn't long. It wasn't flashy. But it carried weight. People who saw it before she deleted it claim it read something like, "Y'all keep talking like y'all know what happened. But some of y'all don't know the half." Lil Tim wasn't alone that night. And some of the things I heard ain't lining up. Those last 3 words, "ain't lining up," spread across Twitter, Reddit, TikTok, and YouTube like wildfire. Fans went insane trying to decode it. What wasn't lining up? What did she finally learn? And why say Lil Tim wasn't alone? What did that mean? Inside sources say she wasn't talking about the obvious. Not crews, not friends, not beef, but something deeper. Something only a handful of people behind the scenes knew. A detail that someone kept quiet for years. A detail that changed the entire sequence of events. And she didn't post it out of nowhere. The truth didn't fall in her lap randomly. It came to her from someone she least expected. A person who was actually there that night. Someone who had never spoken publicly. Someone who carried guilt. Someone who said they couldn't sleep anymore because the story being told online wasn't the whole story. According to that insider, this person reached out crying, literally crying, saying, "Ma'am, I need you to know Von didn't walk into that blind." Her hands reportedly shook when she heard it. Those around her said she sat there motionless, whispering Von's name over and over again, like she was trying to pull him back into the room. The message continued, explaining details the public never heard, details that revealed Lil Tim's actions weren't as straightforward as people assumed, details that suggested someone else played a role, someone who never got mentioned, someone the blogs never dug into, someone who allegedly left the scene before the cameras could catch them. Vaughn's mom reportedly asked the messenger one question: "Why now?" And they answered, "I couldn't hold it anymore." But here's where things get even more emotional and more twisted. When she mentioned Lil Tim wasn't alone, she wasn't only talking about physical presence. She was talking about decisions, actions, influences, people whispering in ears, people escalating situations, people adding fuel seconds before everything went wrong. One close family friend said, "She finally understood that Lil Tim might have pulled the trigger, but people forget how many people load a gun with their words before the bullet ever leaves." That line hit the family hard. The more she learned, the more she realized the internet had created simplified villains and heroes, while the truth was messier, uglier, and more painful than anyone wanted to admit. And that wasn't even the biggest twist. According to sources, Vaughn's mom confronted someone privately, someone she trusted, and asked, "Why didn't you tell me the whole truth the first time?" The person broke down and replied, "I didn't want you to hate me." People in the room said Vaughn's mom stood up so fast her chair fell over. She cried again, not out of anger but out of betrayal, because she realized people had been protecting their reputations, their images, their alliances, while she was left trying to grieve a son with half the information. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, her post shook the industry. People started calling each other, trying to figure out how much she knew, what she was told, and who talked. DMs were wiped. Numbers were changed. Stories were rearranged. People panicked. One insider said, "It's crazy how fast grown men get scared when a mother finally speaks." And still, through all this chaos, Vaughn's mom didn't act like someone thirsty for drama. She acted like a woman who finally had enough of the silence. Enough of the lies. Enough of watching strangers debate her son's final moments like it's entertainment instead of trauma. Fans reacted instantly, saying things like, "She knows something big. She been holding this in too long. This gonna change the whole narrative." And in a way, they were right. But she wasn't finished. Because there was one more thing she said before deleting her post, a line that left fans breathless. "I know what really happened now. And I'm speaking soon." That single sentence was the spark that lit the fuse. When Vaughn's mom wrote, "I know what really happened now, and I'm speaking soon," it didn't just shake the internet. It sent a shockwave through people who were actually connected to that night. Folks who had been quiet for years suddenly started checking their phones every few minutes. Some posted cryptic messages. Some deleted old tweets. Others instantly went silent. Because they knew what everybody else didn't. If Vaughn's mom decided to talk, she wouldn't hold back. Within hours, people close to her say she received 3 phone calls from individuals who hadn't reached out to her in years. Not condolences. Not support. Warnings. Soft, trembling warnings disguised as concern. "Auntie, you don't want to open that door. You gotta think this through. Talking might bring more problems." But she wasn't scared of problems. She'd already lived through the worst one imaginable. She reportedly said, "I already buried my son. There's nothing else y'all can take from me." Those words hit everyone around her like a punch to the chest. Meanwhile, social media exploded with theories. Some believed she had uncovered new footage. Others thought a witness finally came forward. Some even claimed she was about to expose an inside setup, the one rumor that never fully died over the years. But what people didn't know was that she had already started confronting people one by one. According to a family insider, the first person she called wasn't someone fans expected. Not a rapper. Not a crew member. Not a blogger. She called someone who was standing only a few feet away during Vaughn's final moments. A person who had never spoken publicly, who disappeared from the spotlight immediately after the tragedy. And when that person answered the phone, their voice reportedly cracked like they already knew why she was calling. "Tell me the truth," she said. Not what the internet said. Not what y'all told the police. I want the truth from your mouth. At first, the person hesitated. I don't know if. No, she cut him off. You gon' tell me today. Silence. Then breathing. Then confession. This witness told her something that changed her entire understanding of the night. Something so specific, so detailed, that she reportedly had to put the phone on speaker and sit down because her hands were shaking. A friend close to her said she kept whispering, "I knew it. I knew it. I knew it," over and over again. The witness explained that Lil Tim wasn't acting alone, emotionally or mentally. Someone was in his ear minutes before everything went down. Someone hyping the tension. Someone saying, "If it go left, stand on business." Someone pushing every button they could, knowing exactly what might happen if words turned into action. It wasn't a setup. It wasn't a planned hit. It wasn't a mission. But according to what she was told, someone influenced the moment more than the world knew, someone who later pretended they had nothing to do with it. That revelation broke her in a different way. For years, she'd blamed the man who pulled the trigger. But now, she had to accept that the moment Vaughn lost his life wasn't just the outcome of one man's decision. It was the result of a chain reaction caused by people who weren't even in the frame of the video. Someone fueling the fire. Someone encouraging the anger. Someone who walked away while the consequences stayed with her forever. And that's why she wrote Lil Tim wasn't alone. She didn't mean physically, she meant spiritually, mentally, emotionally. People forget influence is a weapon, and that night it was used recklessly. Later that day, she called another person, this time someone much closer to Vaughn. Someone who knew his emotional state in the hours leading up to the confrontation. Someone who heard conversations the public never got access to. She asked them a direct question. Was Vaughn mad before he got there? Or did something set him off? The answer made her go silent. Auntie. Vaughn wasn't looking for violence. He was hurt. Mad about something somebody told him. And that's what had him emotional. What did they tell him? She asked. A lie, they answered. A lie that made him think he was betrayed. She closed her eyes. She felt her heart sink. Because if that was true, Vaughn walked into that night already emotionally charged over something that wasn't even real. His mom reportedly placed her hand over her chest and whispered, "My baby didn't stand a chance." She felt like the entire narrative collapsing in front of her. Every version she'd been told, every explanation, every justification, every conversation, suddenly looked different. Because it wasn't just a fight. It wasn't just street energy. It wasn't just pride. It was pressure, miscommunication, outside influence, and people fueling emotions on both sides. And the worst part? She learned that Lil Tim wasn't even supposed to be the one stepping forward that night. Someone else was. Tim stepped in because the other person froze. A detail the public never heard. A detail that shifted the entire sequence of events. She was stunned, angry, heartbroken, but most of all, exhausted. Later that evening, Vaughn's mom confronted a third person, someone she trusted deeply, someone who'd been comforting her since day one. "Why didn't you tell me the whole story?" she asked. This person reportedly dropped their head and whispered, "I was trying to protect you." Her voice cracked. "Protect me from what?" "The truth." They nodded. She cried again. Not because of the story, but because even the people who loved her thought she couldn't handle honesty. All this time, she believed the world was hiding things from her. Turns out, people close to her were too. Family friends said she didn't sleep that night. She sat in her living room, lights off, scrolling through old photos of Vaughn. Videos of him laughing. Clips of him hugging his kids. Every memory felt heavier after hearing all the contradictions. But the next morning, she woke up with a clarity nobody expected. She wiped her face, sat up straight, and said, "It's time." And she didn't mean time for revenge. She didn't mean time for anger. She meant time to speak. To tell her version. Her truth. What she learned. What she knew now that she didn't know then. And when word spread that she was preparing to speak publicly, really speak, people in the industry panicked even harder. One insider said, "A mother telling the truth is more dangerous than any street beef." By the next morning, Vaughn's mom wasn't the same woman who cried in silence the night before. Something had shifted. Something hardened. She walked around her house with a calm that scared everyone who knew her. The calm of someone who had finally accepted a painful truth and was ready to stop protecting people who didn't protect her. She brewed coffee, sat at her dining table, opened her laptop, and went through years of screenshots, messages, group chats, lies, and old conversations people thought she forgot. She remembered everything. Every timeline. Every contradiction. Every excuse. And now, finally, every truth she had been denied. A family member who saw her that morning said, "I could tell she wasn't scared anymore. She wasn't confused. She was furious." Not the loud type of fury. The quiet kind. The kind that comes from finally seeing the full picture. The moment word spread that she was preparing a public statement, phones across Atlanta and Chicago started blowing up. People whispered, "She about to expose everything." Others panicked, saying, "She ain't gonna leave nobody out." And a few, the ones closest to the truth, reportedly tried to reach her directly. Some called. She didn't answer. Some texted. She left them on read. One person even showed up at her house unannounced, only for her to tell them, "You had 3 years to talk. Don't talk to me now." That line spread through the community instantly. Later that afternoon, she sat with a friend, someone she trusted enough to cry in front of. "Why are you really doing this?" the friend asked gently. Vaughn's mom looked at the floor, then out the window, then finally at her own hands. "I'm tired of people rewriting my son's story," she said. "Tired of people acting like he deserved what happened. Tired of people lying and using his name." She paused, standing up and walking across the room. "I want the truth out there, not for the internet, not for views, not for clout, but for his kids. They growing up hearing lies. They got to know what really happened." Her friend nodded, eyes welling up. "And Lil Tim?" they asked. Vaughn's mom took a deep breath. "I don't hate that boy," she said, "but I know he ain't the only one responsible. He was scared, influenced, pushed, and people used him as the face of the whole thing." Those words shocked the friend. For years, the public believed Vaughn's mom hated Tim, but the truth was more complicated. She didn't excuse him, but she understood fear, chaos, manipulation, and influence better than anyone. She had seen how the streets twist young men into weapons. But now, she wanted to expose everyone who played a role, direct or indirect. That night, she began writing her statement. Not a long rant. Not an angry letter. A structured breakdown of every detail she had pieced together. The influence, the lies, the misinformation, the missing pieces the blogs never had. She paused several times, wiping tears from her eyes, because some of the truths were harder to relive than the lies. While she wrote, someone knocked on her door again. This time, it was someone fans would recognize, someone close to Vaughn who had been quiet ever since the night he died. Someone who was afraid to face her. He stepped inside, head low. "Auntie," he said, "before you speak, I need to tell you something too." She didn't react, didn't smile, didn't hug him. She simply nodded and said, "Go ahead." The man hesitated, then confessed something only a handful of people had known. Not about the shot. Not about the fight. About the atmosphere leading up to the confrontation. A detail that explained why the tension flared so fast. A detail he had been too ashamed to tell her before. When he finished, Vaughn's mom closed her eyes and whispered, "So everybody knew but me." The man's voice cracked. "I didn't want to break your heart." She shook her head. "My heart broke the minute they told me my son was gone." Those words left him speechless. He apologized. Multiple times. But she didn't get angry. She didn't yell. She just said, "You get to apologize. I don't get my son back." Her honesty cut deeper than any anger ever could. After he left, she finished her statement, but before she could post it, her phone buzzed again. This time, it was Lil Tim's own family member. Someone who had never spoken to her directly before. "Ma'am," the message read, "everything you heard. I'm sorry you had to hear it like that." She froze. "Read it again." Put her phone down. This was the first time someone from that side acknowledged her pain. She typed a simple response. "I don't hate your boy. I just wanted the truth." The typing bubble never came back. Later that night, she uploaded her statement to her Notes app. One tap away from posting it. One tap away from changing the narrative forever. But before she hit share, she whispered, "Vaughn, guide me." And in that moment, she made one final decision. A decision that surprised everyone. She didn't post the full story. Not yet. Instead, she posted a message that shook the internet more than any detail ever could. "I know everything now. And the truth is bigger than one man." But everyone felt the tension. Hours later, her inbox, phone, and DMs were flooded, some begging her to speak, others begging her to stay quiet. But one thing was undeniable. Vaughn's mom had shifted the narrative forever. And for the first time in years, she finally felt like she wasn't powerless. And she knew Vaughn would have wanted that. If you're watching this right now, one thing should be clear. This story isn't just about the streets, or rumors, or internet drama. It's about a mother who spent 3 years drowning in silence while the world argued over pieces of her son's life like it was entertainment. It's about a woman who finally learned the truth and realized the narrative millions believed was missing the most important parts. But now the question is, what happens next? Your opinion matters, because this story is still unfolding. Before you go, make sure you hit that like button so more people see what's really happening behind the scenes. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates as this situation develops. And share this video with someone who's been following Vaughn's story since day one. Because this moment right here, this is the closest we've ever been to the full truth. And trust me, the next chapter is going to be even bigger.